global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them. Crises precipitate change.
Secretly plotting your demise. I want to devise a virus.
Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News. I'm covering a recent incident with the Pentagon. Last time it was the IRS, and now it is the Pentagon shooter. And I wanted to do what I did with my last video that I just made with the body scanners and show you how sneaky these people are with their little titles, because they try to get away with as much as they possibly can, and then they read the comments and they evaluate people's reaction, because we're in the reaction stage of this, and then of course will come the solution. But while they're in the reaction stage and then they're trying to manipulate people's reactions that are mostly based off fear, they try to push it as far as they can, and so they like to retract titles. So you'll save a Yahoo News story, or AP is who writes it at the Associated Press, and then you'll go in there the next day, right? You'll add it to your favorites the day before, and you'll go in there the next day, and then it'll be changed. So I want to show you what the title was yesterday. Here it is: more anti-government writing linked to Pentagon shooter. This is the original title that was yesterday, and it's titled "Shooting Suspect May Have Had 9/11 Conspiracy." So I don't think I have to really go too far into it. I would like to read the stories, but I think it's like, some people like for me to kind of give my comment and what I think on the subject. But I just wanted to make that connection there and show you what these bastards are trying to do. Because I don't know if Joseph Stack, who flew his little Cessna and made a humongous explosion at half the Echelon building that held not just the IRS, it held the CIA and the FBI and other federal agencies. And he wasn't just, yes, he didn't like the IRS, and yes, he, like a lot of Americans, they ruin their people's lives. So, there's a 50-50 chance that that it was actually a legitimate attack. But of course, they knew about him, and they had trucks right across the street, special fire hazmat trucks and everything, parked right across the Echelon building before, as the plane was crashing in the buildings. You had special, they had the FBI in that, just minutes reported by the neighbors of Joseph Stack. His house was on fire, and they had people there within seconds, a special team. And so, and what he was writing about was changed like 29 times, but what I'm getting at here is none of this stuff smells right to me. And now you have this guy who does this thing with the Pentagon shooting, and of course there's been all these, there's one in Vegas and there was one in Texas in the last couple months where someone had gone up and take pot shots, not really trying to kill anybody, but take pot shots at in a courthouse. They go to the courthouse, right? And then they would start shooting, not really to kill anybody, just so that they can introduce their little body scanners over there, and then you see the suspect get taken out, and it's a dude with a nice little military haircut. He's either a cop or he's an Army intelligence or something, and he gets, this is my speculation, of course, with this, but yeah, and then he gets taken out, and he gets taken out by not police, but by like public. What was it, like Public Works or something crazy like that? It wasn't even like, and he was sitting in the front seat. He was sitting in the front seat of the car. And it was public safety, that's what it was. It was public safety. I mean, dude, none of this I think is real. I don't. I think half of it is mind control. I think these people all of us are programmed to some degree. And some of us are more programmed than others, but there's people like the Patsy, Christmas Day underpants bomber, who was also under mind control. And what I'm getting at here is, okay guys, I just dug something up here, another article. It's titled "John Patrick Bedell, Pentagon shooter, had serious mental problems as parents." And of course, this is just like every other thing, right? And it says, Says Bedells' parents revealed that their son's mental condition was bad, and they believe that the incident of 4th March was very much interlinked with his unsound mind. Here we go. His parents said that they tried to inform the authorities last week on their son's problems, but no actions were taken then. Let me repeat this. His parents said that they tried to inform the authorities last week on their son's problems, but no actions were taken. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Anybody that has a attention span or a memory that goes beyond just one day, 24 hours? Because if you go back maybe about a month and, Christmas Day, right, of 2009, you learn that Faraq Abdul Muttalib, the Christmas Day patsy, his parents openly contacted authorities before the event, the Christmas Day botched bombing even happened. Before it even occurred, authorities were notified. You know what I'm saying? This is the stuff that we have to take into account. And you can say, well, oh, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist, and then but you know what, guys? I'm not going to go into one of these buildings and do these acts. My intention is to try to get people to think outside the box. Here they go. They start demonizing marijuana, saying that it actually made it worse. But, you can do whatever you need to do to expand your consciousness, and you need to expand your mind and take your blinders off and start looking at the bigger picture here. Because there's going to be things that are going to keep happening. Because I've been talking about this since I started making my videos last November, which is they are going to start carrying out attacks against themselves, provocateuring, and you know who I'm speaking of. And if you don't, then just keep watching my videos and you'll know who I'm referring to. They will keep doing this because they need to demonize the right. They need to demonize conservatives because, well, it's not just conservatives. There's a lot of people in all political fields that are Americans that are not happy with the federal government, with the Federal Reserve, with the IRS, with the Department of Defense, with the president. But the president's just a puppet, and I know that. But what I'm getting at is that we all realize that stuff's getting bad and it's going to get worse. And as more people wake up, they're going to want to know what the truth really is. And by then, that time it's going to be too late. So what I'm trying to do here is make the connections for people, but I want people to go and do their own research like I'm doing right here. I just pulled this article up, and it says his parents notified him. And what the point that I'm trying to make here, I guess, is with the IRS bomber, the first thing that came out was they linked it with the Tea Parties, right? They said, oh, this is, Time Magazine and New York Times or whoever it was, all these mainstream propaganda sources said, oh, the IRS bomber, Joseph Stack, he's a right-wing extremist conservative, and he was linked to the Tea Parties, and so, but he wasn't, right? He was talking about how we needed health care and, Marxism, and so it had nothing to do with conservatism. It had everything to do with being pissed off at the government. So he was either just a lone person who was just had enough, right? Whose life was probably being ruined by the IRS, or B, all of that I just said, plus all the federal agencies or whatever knowing about this individual, and then for however they do it, however they roll it out, they just allow it to happen, which is like, usually NORAD and these, or not NORAD, but just, NORAD and these different agencies, FAA, they put jets in the air when they have a plane like that flying that low at that speed and stuff like that. They're aware of this stuff, and they didn't go up in the air until after the plane hit the building. So I'm gonna bust this into 2 videos. Didn't know I was going to do that, but I kind of want to read these articles, but it's just I wanted to also give my kind of little perception of these 3 events: the Christmas Day bomber, which now we have body scanners rolling out. You can just check the video that I made just recently today, and then so you have the IRS bomber, which demonizes the conservatives further, and then also it makes it harder for pilots to get their license. And then now you have this guy who takes some shots at the Pentagon.